of Biafra in 1967 to 70 will actually know that America was the only country that allowed the sales of Biafran literature. Recognition of Biafran sovereignty as a legal, nation. I think sovereign state of Biafra is here already because Trump has been, harping on it. That recognition of Biafra is very, very paramount among all his plans in this his second coming. Biafra has been recognized already, even during the war of 1967-70. Biafra was recognized by United States. The only country that recognized United States was America. The way the United States, let me say, philanthropists across United States were handling issue of Biafra in 1967 to 70 will actually know that America was the only country that allowed the sales of Biafran literatures. All this Chukwuemeka, my friend, by Fred Forsyth, Why We Struck by Adegboyega, I think. Then Sunset at Dawn by Chukwuemeka Ike. Making of an African Legend, a Biafra Story by Fred Forsyth. All these books were selling in quantity, in quantum in the United States of America. Actually, before now, America supported sovereign state of Biafra. And currently the work American government under Trump is doing right now to free Nnamdi Kanu and to actualize Biafra is highly commendable. So what I'm trying to say is that Trump has gone a long way with other Biafra lobbyists in the House to uncage Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from the SS facilities and to actually see that the dreams of the Igbos who have been over the years marginalized by Nigerian government, comes through. So what I'm trying to say is that Trump is doing good job, very, very good job to truncate the efforts of Fulani Arabs from Islamizing both Southern and the Eastern Christians. What Trump is doing right now was exactly what Benjamin Netanyahu was actually fighting at the axis of West Bank, Golan Heights, and the Gaza. But actually, Iran fueled the fuel of conflict, at least that was going on right now in the land of Israel. But actually, with the recognition of state of Israel by United States of America, Israel has been able to edge out Hezbollah, edge out Hamas, and the rest of the terrorists in the South, in the Middle East.
The President of the United States of America, Donald Trump, has officially recognized Biafra as a sovereign nation and legal entity. The movement gained traction through Simon Ekpa, a key figure who started lobbying efforts for Biafra's recognition. Simon Ekpa hired a professional lobbyist, Elias Garces, from Moran Global Strategies, a firm founded by former Congressman Chim Moran, to present the Biafran cause to U.S. officials. Elias Garces and Biafra Deputy Prime Minister Dr. Ngozi Orabueze met in Washington, D.C. to discuss strategies for gaining official recognition from the U.S. government. The Biafran movement sought recognition through the U.S. Department of Justice by registering under the Foreign Agents Registration Act, FARA. On February 20, 2025, the Department of Justice allegedly acknowledged the United State of Biafra as a foreign nation with its own cabinet members. Todd Blanche, a close ally of Donald Trump and a key figure in the Justice Department, signed the document recognizing United State of Biafra, USB, suggesting Trump's personal involvement. The United State of Biafra is no longer just a group, but a legally recognized entity, allowing it to operate freely, hold meetings, protests, and campaigns in the U.S. As a recognized nation, United State of Biafra can now apply for financial aid and grants from the U.S. Department of Justice, which has provided over $3.2 billion in assistance to various entities. Donald Trump's official recognition of the United State of Biafra as a sovereign nation is a development that has captured my attention and stirred a mix of professional curiosity and personal reflection. I have followed this story with great interest because it is not every day that a movement, one that began as a passionate call for self-determination, transitions into a legally recognized entity within one of the world's most influential nations. This transformation is the result of years of effort, strategic planning, and the determined work of several key figures who believed in the dream of independence and self-governance for the people of Biafra. The journey toward this historic achievement began with the efforts of Simon Ekpa, a prominent activist whose tireless work in promoting the cause brought renewed attention to the decades-old aspirations for Biafran independence. Simon Ekpa's approach was both innovative and energetic. He leveraged the power of social media and public discourse to generate widespread support for the movement. His efforts resonated with many who had long felt that their voices were not being heard. However, Simon Ekpa understood that the momentum of a grassroots campaign, while essential, needed to be complemented by a more formal and professional approach to political advocacy if the movement was to gain the recognition it deserved on the world stage. With this understanding, Simon Ekpa made the strategic decision to enlist the services of Elias Gassis, a professional lobbyist associated with Moran Global Strategies, a firm founded by former Congressman Jim Moran. Elias Gassis's role was critical. His expertise in navigating the intricate corridors of political lobbying in Washington, D.C., provided the movement with the necessary tools to engage directly with influential government officials. Through careful negotiations and the preparation of extensive documentation, Elias Gassis was able to articulate the case for the United State of Biafra in a manner that was both legally sound and politically persuasive. His involvement added an element of professionalism to the movement and helped transform it from a loosely organized group into an entity that could be taken seriously by the halls of power. A pivotal moment in this process occurred when Elias Gassis met with Dr. Ngozi Orabueze, the Deputy Prime Minister of the United State of Biafra. Their meeting in Washington, D.C. was not just a symbolic gesture. It represented a concrete step forward in the strategy to secure recognition from the United States government. The discussion between Elias Gassis and Dr. Ngozi Orabueze centered on utilizing established legal frameworks, particularly the Foreign Agents Registration Act, to position the movement as a legitimate political actor. By registering under this act, the movement could formally present itself as an entity with a defined purpose and structure. This legal maneuvering, though unconventional, demonstrated a creative use of the tools available within the United States legal system to meet the goals of self-determination. The culmination of these efforts came on February 20, 2025, when the United States Department of Justice officially recognized the United State of Biafra as a foreign nation, complete with its own cabinet members. This announcement was more than just an administrative decision. It was a public declaration that the movement had achieved a status that many had once thought impossible. Todd Blanche, a key figure in the Department of Justice and a close ally of President Donald Trump, was the official who signed the recognition document. His signature not only underscored the gravity of the decision, but also hinted at the personal involvement and support from the highest levels of the United States government. For those following the story, the document's formal acknowledgement marked the transformation of the United State of Biafra from a mere advocacy group into a legally recognized sovereign entity. The implications of this recognition are as profound as they are far-reaching. Before this decision, the United State of Biafra was often dismissed as a political movement with limited prospects. Now, as a recognized nation, it possesses the legal capacity to operate freely within the United States. This means that the movement can hold meetings, organize peaceful protests, conduct campaigns, and even seek financial aid and grants from government bodies. The United States Department of Justice, for instance, has a long history of supporting various entities with billions of dollars in grants and loans, and the United State of Biafra may now be eligible to benefit from such assistance. This financial support could provide the necessary resources to develop infrastructure, establish administrative systems, and implement policies that reflect the aspirations of its supporters. Reflecting on the journey so far, I find it remarkable how the aspirations for Biafran independence, rooted in historical struggles and a deep-seated desire for self-determination, have been channeled into a modern political strategy that effectively combined grassroots activism with sophisticated legal and lobbying efforts. The story of Simon Ekpa, Elias Gassis, and Dr. Ngozi Orabueze is one of determination, creativity, and a relentless pursuit of change. Their work has shown that when passionate activism is paired with professional expertise, even the most entrenched political challenges can be addressed in innovative ways. This blend of activism and strategy is what ultimately led to the signing of the official document by Todd Blanche, a gesture that has redefined the movement's status and opened up new opportunities for growth and development. The significance of the United State of Biafra's recognition extends beyond the immediate political victory. It represents a fundamental shift in the way that statehood and national sovereignty are understood in today's world. Traditionally, the creation of a nation has been a slow, complex process, influenced by historical, cultural, and geopolitical factors. However, the rapid acknowledgement of the United State of Biafra by the United States government challenges these conventional notions. It suggests that in an era marked by rapid communication, legal innovation, and global interconnectedness, the criteria for what constitutes a nation may be evolving. This development invites us to rethink the established markers of legitimacy and to consider the possibility that a community's determination and strategic use of legal tools can redefine its place in the international order. For many individuals, especially those who have long felt marginalized or overlooked by the dominant political structures, the recognition of the United State of Biafra is a moment of profound hope. It validates their long-held dreams of independence and self-governance and signals that change, even when it seems out of reach, is possible. The movement's ability to mobilize support, engage with high-level officials, and ultimately secure legal recognition is a testament to the power of collective action and the importance of having a clear, strategic vision. It also serves as an inspiring reminder that even in the face of formidable challenges, perseverance and innovative thinking can lead to transformative outcomes. At the heart of this development lies the interplay between historical legacy and modern political strategy. The aspirations for Biafran independence are deeply rooted in the historical context of Nigeria and the struggles that emerged during the Nigerian Civil War in the late 1960s. For decades, the memories of that conflict and the sense of injustice and marginalization that many felt have fueled calls for a separate Biafran identity. The contemporary movement, while drawing on these historical narratives, has also embraced new strategies and technologies to bring its message to a wider audience. Social media platforms, public demonstrations, and strategic lobbying have all played critical roles in transforming the movement from a distant memory of past strife into a dynamic force in modern politics. In examining the legal strategy employed by the movement, it is fascinating to see how existing laws, such as the Foreign Agents Registration Act, have been repurposed to serve new political ends. This act, originally designed to ensure transparency in the activities of foreign entities operating within the United States, provided a ready-made framework for the United State of Biafra to present itself as a legitimate organization with clearly defined objectives and responsibilities. By registering under this act, the movement was able to signal to the government that it was willing to abide by the established legal norms of the country. This move not only enhanced the movement's credibility, but also demonstrated a willingness to engage with the legal system rather than reject it outright. It was an innovative solution that bridged the gap between a grassroots political movement and a recognized sovereign entity. The meeting between Elias Gassis and Dr. Ngozi Orabueze in Washington, D.C. stands out as one of the most important moments in this process. Their discussion was focused on practical steps that could be taken to secure recognition, including the preparation of documentation and the development of a legal strategy that would meet the requirements of the United States government. This meeting was emblematic of the movement's broader strategy to combine the passion and energy of grassroots activism with the precision and rigor of professional lobbying and legal expertise. It was a clear demonstration of how a well-coordinated effort can bring about significant change, even in a system as complex and formidable as that of the United States government. When the United States Department of Justice announced the recognition of the United State of Biafra, it was not merely an administrative formality. It was a public declaration that resonated far beyond the walls of government offices. The signing of the document by Todd Blanche, a trusted ally of former President Donald John Trump, provided a tangible link between the movement and the highest levels of political power. For many observers, this signature was a symbol of validation, a sign that the movement had not only captured public attention, but had also earned the respect and support of influential decision-makers. It was a moment that transformed the narrative from one of hopeful aspiration to that of concrete achievement. The legal recognition of the United State of Biafra opens up numerous practical opportunities. As a legally recognized nation, the movement can now engage in activities that were previously off-limits. It can hold public meetings, stage peaceful protests, and launch political campaigns with the full backing of the law. Moreover, it now has the potential to access financial aid and grants from government agencies. The United States Department of Justice, for instance, has a long track record of supporting various entities with billions of dollars in grants and loans. This financial support could prove instrumental in building the administrative infrastructure and public services necessary for the nation to thrive. In many ways, this recognition lays the groundwork for the United State of Biafra to transition from a symbolic movement into a fully functional state that can serve the needs and aspirations of its people. I find it personally inspiring to witness how the passion of dedicated individuals and the application of innovative legal and political strategies have converged to create this historic moment. The journey of the United State of Biafra is a powerful reminder that even deeply rooted political challenges can be addressed when determination meets strategy. It is a story of resilience, creativity, and the unyielding belief in the possibility of change. For those who have long supported the cause of Biafran independence, this recognition is not just a legal victory, it is the fulfillment of a dream that has been nurtured over decades. It is a moment of validation for the struggles and sacrifices of countless individuals who have believed that their community deserved the right to self-governance and to be recognized on the international stage. Beyond the immediate political and legal implications, the recognition of the United State of Biafra carries with it deep cultural and emotional significance. For many of the people who have long identified with the Biafran cause, this development is a reclaiming of identity, a long-awaited acknowledgement that their history, struggles, and aspirations are worthy of recognition. It is an affirmation that the quest for self-determination is not a relic of the past, but a living, evolving pursuit that continues to shape the lives of those who dare to dream of a better future. This emotional resonance is one of the reasons why the story of the United State of Biafra is so compelling. It is a narrative that speaks not only to legal and political experts, but also to ordinary people who see in it the reflection of their own hopes and challenges. Of course, as with any major political development, There are also critical voices and controversies surrounding this recognition. Some critics have questioned whether the process was influenced more by personal relationships and political expediency than by a genuine commitment to the principles of self-determination. They point to the close ties between key figures in the Department of Justice and President Donald Trump, suggesting that these connections may have played a role in facilitating the recognition.
In this video, we shall be showcasing and sharing one of the biggest news coming out from the USB movement. Yes, just in case you don't know, the current president of the USA and the person of Donald Trump has officially recognized the USB as a nation and as a legal entity. Yes, this is a massive one, and in this video we shall be showcasing and also exposing every single thing that has happened or happened behind the scenes, so you can understand how Mr. Donald Trump got to realize the movement called USB, and he had to place his own official and presidential stamp, making it a nation, a widely recognized nation all over the world. Yes, this is going to be a very interesting video, and I will urge you to watch it up until the very end. So the question here is, how did this happen, and who brought the movement of the USB on the desk of Mr. Donald Trump? Well, let's start from the very first day. On the 16th of November 2024, Mr. Simon released a post on his Twitter page. Shown right now on your screen is this post. It states, "The giants of Washington DC are all joining the government for a good history that is about to happen." And this was released last year. When this whole tweet came to the media space, many individuals did not understand what was playing and what was happening behind the scenes. Yes, this felt like a regular tweet coming from Mr. Simon, but we never knew that these guys were trying to lobby and also present the USB movement in front of the president of the USA. Yes, so Mr. Simon needed to present USB in front of the president of the USA, and he needed someone to do it for him. Yes, he needed someone who has a high profile in the international world, and that is where a man known as Elias Gerasulis came into play. Yes, showing right now on your screen is a brief description of this particular man known as Elias Gerasulis. This man happens to be a professional lobbyist, and he works for a company known as Moran Global Strategies, which happens to be a prominent lobbying firm that was founded by a former congressman in the person of Jim Moran. Yes, so Mr. Simon employed the services of this individual known as Elias Gerasulis so as to present the movement of the USB in front of the official president of the USA. Yes, so Mr. Simon did a lot of negotiating with this individual, and everything, the contracts, the negotiations, and the objectives were clear and stamped, and that is when every single thing came into play. A couple of days later, this man known as Elias Gerasulis met with Ngozi Orabueze, who currently is the Deputy Prime Minister of the USB movement. Well, if you don't believe me, take a look at this publication showing right now on your screen, and this is coming from Mr. Simon, where it states, "The lobbyist Elias Gerasulis and Chief of Staff Dr. Ngozi Orabueze are the headquarters of the lobbying firm in Washington, D.C., Moran Global Strategies." Yes, this is the very first day that Ngozi Orabueze, together with this individual known as Elias, met in person so as to present a lot of documents, a lot of files, and series of portfolio in front of a sitting president in the USA. Interestingly, after this man met with Ngozi Orabueze, he immediately met with series of individuals domiciled in the USB movement. Well, showing right now on your screen is a video captured on that particular day where we can find Mr. Elias having conversations and briefing individuals and leaders in the USB movement. Yes, in this particular meeting, Mr. Elias, together with every other individual seated there, came together. They brought their heads together to devise a means and to draw out a blueprint in gaining the attention of the president of the USA. Yes, this guy wanted to meet and have conversations with the president of America, and they had to do it strategically. Yes, and that is when they opted to go through an organization known as the USA Department of Justice. Yes, showing right now on your screen is a quick description of this particular establishment or government entity domiciled in the USA, which states the United States Department of Justice, also known as the Justice Department, is a federal executive department of the USA government that oversees the domestic enforcement of federal laws and every other matters within. Yes, so this man known as Mr. Elias decided to go through the USA Department of Justice as a means to meet with the president of the USA in the person of Donald Trump. Yes, the plan was very simple and well calculated. A couple of months later, Mr. Elias, together with Ngozi Orabueze, drafted a letter that was sent to the Department of Justice USA. Well, shown right now on your screen is an official document, an authentic document coming from that government body domiciled in America. As you can clearly see, it states registration statement pursuant in the Foreign Agent Registration Act of 1938 as amended. I want you to take a look at the name of the registrant. It states the USB government. This is actually a fantastic one. Well, that is not even all. Yes, that is not even all. On the 20th of February 2025, Ngozi Orabueze came out to expose one of the biggest news for that particular movement. Well, showing right now on your screen is her post or a tweet coming from her official handle. It states, and I quote, "Breaking, Department of Justice registers and recognizes the USB as a foreign nation with its cabinet members." Yes, we are no longer an agent organization. We are a nation with all the laws protecting a nation. And when you look down below, you will see that same document I just showed to you, together with the seal of the USA Department of Justice. This is a big one. So how did this even get to the table or to the desk of Mr. Trump? Well, let me show this to you. Showing right now on your screen is a publication coming from the BBC. It states, "Trump rewards personal lawyers with Justice Department post." Yes, so this is simple. Donald Trump rewarded some of his loyal lawyers in different positions domiciled in that said Justice Department of America. Well, showing right now on your screen is a picture of some of these lawyers. And when you take a look at the left hand side corner of your screen, we have a man known as Todd Blanche. Yes, this is the same individual who signed the document presented by Ngozi Orabueze. Yes, this man happens to be a very close friend and a supporter of Mr. Donald Trump, and it is very possible that he actually seek permission and seek full recognition from the president before that document was actually signed. So what does this actually mean for the USB movement? Yes, so it's one thing that the president of the USA have officially recognized the USB as a nation and as a sovereign state. The other thing is, what are the importance? Why is this even important to the layman on the street? Well, let me show you some of its importance and everything you need to know, because this is a big one. Well, so the very first achievement or the very big impact of this recognition is the fact that the USB movement is no longer a group or an organization. Yes, and the second importance is the fact that the USB can now operate freely within the coffers and in any space in America. Yes, this is massive. And the third importance is the fact that the USB is now a legal entity in the eyes of the US president and government. Yes, the USB now is a legal entity, is now a state recognized by America, and these guys are actually very free to hold meetings, to hold protests if that comes into play, to hold campaigns and every other thing within its capabilities. Yes, so the USB is now a legal entity in the eyes of the USA. And the fourth importance is the USB can now seek for financial aid. Yes, so just in case you don't know, this US Department of Justice usually grants aids and grants support to a series of bodies and structures domiciled all across the world. Yes, in total, this US Department of Justice has granted a total of 3.2 billion plus loans and grants to state, local and tribal partners. Yes, so the USB movement can actually seek for funds and seek support and aid from the US Department of Justice, because they have now been recognized and signed as a legal nation operating within the international space. Well, moving on swiftly, the fifth importance is the fact that the USB has its own laws. Yes, the USB can now create and formulate its own written laws. And the sixth importance is USB is now a nation. And this is one of the biggest achievements so far. So as you can see, things will only get interesting from this point moving forward, because the movement has achieved a massive feat. And kudos to Donald Trump, together with his loyal lawyers who signed that proposal into laws. Kudos to these individuals, and we can't wait to see how things unfold in the future. Well, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, I urge you to subscribe and turn on post notifications, because we'll give you all of the latest breaking news and verified news coming out in Nigeria and from other parts of the world, and also in the USB movement. So I urge you to subscribe and turn on post notifications as quickly as possible. Anyways, moving on swiftly. In our previous video, we exposed the fact that President Donald Trump recently sent series of messages to the Finnish authorities and to the Finnish government. Yes, Donald Trump has sent a letter stamped and sealed from his office instructing Finland to do just one thing. Anyways, if you want to see the content of that letter and every other thing within, if you want to see what the president of the USA is asking and commanding the government of Finland to do regarding the case of Mr. Simon, we have a video that will expose and showcase every single thing that you need to know and understand.
This is the end of our news update. Please click the icon on the top right corner of your screen to watch my next video. You will enjoy it. I will see you again in my next update. Enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye for now.